Alright, we're back. We are back. It's been a few days since I've recorded. Been a little busy. But we are back.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dahna. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to. She looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah, it was all just a little sudden, that's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Oh, that's a lot of words to say very little. A lot of words to say very little. First of all, I wonder if the weird quality on the recording in that memory was intentional or not. Whether it was a technical error or if it was supposed to be that way. And also, I'm a little bit confused. I thought Alphen and Neori had some sort of attachment to each other, but in that memory it seemed like Alphen almost completely forgot who she was the day before the ceremony. Oh well, let's go. Ah, got something over here. Alright, I'm saved up. Let's see.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
Tormented limbs, dark. I just want to point out, when the portal opened, I was thinking, are they gonna show the monster crawling out of the portal, or are they just gonna cut to the people, the party, and then cut back and the monster was there? And sure enough, they went for the lazy route. They just cut and there it was. Quite lazy, but whatever. Whatever. It's good. Hydro orb? Why is that active? Yeah, let's go. Where are your... Is the core behind it?
Like that before?
No,
How
it's
about
up
with
here.
a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the?
Oh,
Where did you get our hands on that?
First we handled the Zugals, then we get some answers.
Lightning! Illuminate! Go for the weak point! Cut for holy glimmer!
massive crits. Let's make them even more massive.
Will this help?
Even more. More power. Oh shit.
Their hearts were interrupted. Thank you.
Lightning condemned over! Thunderblade! I'm all between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of
Flame
lightning!
inside! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
Wait, where's my boost? Did it run out already?
Leave it to you!
Here, let me help.
Forget it.
Now or never. I'm not done!
Illuminate the dark! Cut forth holy glimmer! Lightning!
Try
Holy
harder! Take this!
Oh, that's multiple hits. That's like 5 hits.
A wailing banshee of lightning!
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Blow away!
More for the
Raining
stockpile!
Hurricane strike!
I'll heal you all! Light
Take
astral
this!
energy! More with that
Crush! Blow away the flame inside me! Yours to be let free!
Come forth! Holy
Appreciate the
Here
help.
I come!
Holy land!
Raining
Lightning!
Ah, look at Kisara. Has some pretty interesting real hang time there.
Let me help.
More for the stockpile! It's over!
That's a pretty cool enemy though.
More where that
Try
came
harder.
from!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Lightning condemned! Thunderblade!
That was left arm.
Now!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Radiant
Take it!
meteor!
Struck!
Here's another! Lunar corruption! Photon
The flame inside me! Yours to be let free!
Lightning! Holy
Core.
A chain between heaven and earth that moves!
Here comes a big one!
Mega ray! Sleep now! I'm all stocked up! More for the stockpile! Eat dirt!
Raining! Try harder! My turn!
Radiant here! More where that came
Try
from!
harder!
Mega ray!
Ah, tried to go for another one.
Here I come!
Holy land! Here's a healing
Try
between
harder!
heaven
Not
and
a
earth!
chance!
First aid! A wailing banshee of
Didn't
lightning!
hit? I mean, I didn't dodge it? Alright.
Sleep now! I'm all stocked up! More for the stockpile!
Ah, I was. Why did I press that? Should I press the dual links?
Radiant blood! More where that came from! Here, let me help! Take that!
Ah, stop. I missed that horribly.
Thunderblade! There! A chain between heaven and earth! Mega ray! Back into the wailing banshee of lightning! Sleep now!
Blow away!
I'll be saving this one! Hit! More where that came from! Radiant blood! Here! Lightning
This one's all mine!
It's weakened! Thunderblade!
This ends now!
I'm all stopped up! Inferno! I'm almost impressed!
High praise coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
My turn!
I did spam dodge a little bit there.
Let me help. Chain between heaven and earth. A wailing banshee of lightning. Lightning. Downfall. Sleep now. Mega ray. I'm all
Take
stopped
this!
up. Here goes. Mega ray. More where that came from. Lightning condemned. Thunderblade.
Blow away! It's gonna attack!
Right. Watch
Blow
out.
away!
Holy land.
Raining!
A chain between heaven and earth. I'm only
I owe you one for
A
that.
wailing banshee of lightning. In
Try
here.
harder! Not a chance!
Lightning.
I'm not
I'll
done!
be saving this one. I'm out of ammo.
Here I come!
First
Do some aerials, fun stuff. Why not?
Void
I'm
blast!
all stocked up. A wailing banshee of lightning.
Take this!
I don't mind, barely does damage.
Not today!
Downfall. I'll be saving this one.
Mirage!
Lightning
Here I
condemned.
come!
Thunderblade. Lightning. This one's mine. I can do this all day.
Blow away!
Denied.
I'll
It's
heal
over.
you all.
Raining
Holy
slap!
land.
Ah! Take this!
Healing circle.
It's over for this guy now.
Here there. Lightning condemned. Thunderblade. A chain between heaven and earth.
To be fair, it was over for him regardless.
Phoenix Cyclone.
Or her. Or it. I don't know. I'm not assuming.
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me?
Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
She passed out from that? Alright.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Some of these character moments are just so unbelievable. Like, yeah, I can't believe that a character needs to have all these things spilled out for them, you know, and it lasts so long. Starting to be very disinterested in some of the call it character growth for Dohalim. It's like very stretched out. and very ham-fisted. It's getting a bit much. Now we're gonna have to continue this ham-fistedness.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
It's like, what was the point of that skin? Sure, it was short, which I appreciate, but what was the point? Right? We, as the audience, already knew this, because we saw it. We saw it in a quick cutscene, right? Which is fine. We can deduce the things ourselves. We do not need to then witness the dialogue within the team for them to catch up on what we already know. It's unnecessary. As people who are playing this game, we can just assume that they did it. We don't have to actually see them literally catch up to the information that we have. If they wanted to do it that way, they need to not show us in advance and then talk about it half an hour later. It's extremely redundant and it makes no sense. We don't need to treat the people, the characters that we're playing, as if they're real human beings. They're an extension of us. And since we already knew, we don't need to waste time re-knowing. Oh, I was gonna say something about the boss difficulty. Give me a sec.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dahna's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me.
A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Xion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dahna.
But the will of Dahna is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dahna's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dahna's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Xion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
I'm not really gonna theorize too much on what that is. Maybe the main villain is like the dark astral energy trying to collect so much astral energy that he can fully come to life or something. Anyways, I was gonna say something about the boss. The reason why I haven't increased the difficulty of the boss is because honestly I don't really care too much about the boss fights. They're very monotonous and repetitive. Just a little bit of different color. At this point I'm mostly only interested in seeing what the story is. And grinding our way through these skits.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dahna might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dahna's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Yep. I'm not walking, by the way. The game is doing it by itself.
Soon, you might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
I'm gonna turn back for a time.
I just need a little time first. I want to make sure I go into whatever comes next completely prepared.
I was actually going to end even before this because I was thinking that the next session might be very long and I won't have time to record it, so I'm just gonna end here. Seems like point of no return, at least for whatever the final part of the main story is out there. I mean, in there. Yeah, so in the next episode we'll go in there. What level are we right now? 43? Okay, so we're early 40s right now. Which means that some of the bosses that are left on the planet should be available. Like, for instance, that blob. That blob should be very easy to deal with now that we have permanent upkeep on Shion, Rinvel's break with only two enemies hit. Shouldn't be hard in that fight, so there's probably a bunch of others that I can take out too, without having to brute force my way by just spamming items. So anyways, but I think that's gonna be done after the story. So anyways, in the next episode, I'll just go do this, and then we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching, I appreciate it, have a nice day, and well, I'll see you in the next one, bye!